not given earned a platform, right? Not that other people hadn't, but he's one who is considered, as I said, one of the main founders of criminal justice. So I hope you'll enjoy reading that. It talks about different types of protest. So expressive versus instrumental activities, which we'll read about. And it's just neat. You know, he's trying to think of ways to create change. More than I am. So you can see that as we move throughout the semester, and it may have felt like a glacial pace, right? In terms of couching it within the context of American, but especially, we started out with the reading by Thoreau.
Okay, I better go.
And then finally moved our way up to where we've got writers that are dealing with the effects of, industrialization. And we're also looking at people who are writing to create change in the form of acts and laws, so forth and so on. If we think about Rachel Carson, if we think about the piece on Denora, right? And again, even today, Lois Gibbs is a great example.
Holy shit, I read that.
Who's really fighting for change and has made it happen, and is still fighting, actually, believe it or not, about the same issue. It's over the same issue, the same space. So we'll talk about that today, in addition to the other readings. But like I said, next week, hopefully the response paper will be pretty simplistic and enjoyable.
I have 3? Oh my gosh.
Don't forget that we will have one more work that is long-ish, right? We haven't had any huge novels, thank goodness. Not like in some of the lit courses, but with that said, we've read a ton. So just keep in mind, though, that Refuge is our last memoir that's coming up, and we will actually be having presentations on that last piece
I'm dead.
on November 30th, okay? So it's not a difficult read in terms of content or language. I shouldn't say content. Yeah, well, I mean in the traditional sense, right? It's an emotional read, though. Probably the most emotional piece that
I want to get so emotional.
This semester, the most emotional one. So,
where the hell did this guy go?
Work. And please just don't forget to be reading that so it doesn't sneak up on you.
I feel like 100% of my healing has been on Amelia.
There's a question from Julia. Yes, if you are ready and prepared. We've had, we've had folks that have been dealing with a lot lately. So, I had, Julia and I...
Make sure the guys go, oh god, no,
she's ready today. She actually was moved to present last week, but had to come up recently. And was unable to. So, Julia, if you'd like to present today, you are more than welcome to. In fact, I kind of thought that we might do that first, just to make sure there's enough time for it, to kind of put the presentations to bed, so to speak.
I need to fall back. Oh god, I'm so dead.
Right? And then move into the content for today.
I'm dead.
What does that sound like to you? See, can you guys hear Julia? Must be my computer. Okay, give me just a sec. Sorry, Julia.
Oh, they're fucking pushing it back.
Any questions?
Oh, nice. And I just wiped them out.
Okay, good. Thanks. All right. So, guys, if we can, just like we did and have done all semester, we'll just try to either take some notes or come up with at least 2 questions, right? Just kind of in your head.
Oh god, I'm so dead. Damn.
Julie's going to share.
Everyone's critical over there. It's not good. Hello, yes. I'm lagging really bad. And I'm lagging. I'm lagging bad. Reinhardt. I hate playing against Reinhardt. They're so stupid.
Okay, there we go. I'm unmuted. Okay, so you guys can see my screen?
Yeah, our attackers are so bad.
Sorry about that. Okay, great. So, mine's on Thoreau, and with the title being New Conscious. So, Henry David Thoreau's Civil Disobedience is an essay that was first published in 1849.
Are you leaving, Amelia?
With the original title of Resistance to Civil Government.
Oh, Tyler.
Part of Thoreau's motivation for civil disobedience was his opposition to slavery as well as the Mexican-American War.
We're not doing good.
Thoreau says on page 4, this people must cease to hold slaves and to make our war on Mexico, though it cost them their existence as people. This writing was abnormal for its time due to symbolism and structure, as well as its criticism of the church or Christian institutions. Thoreau says on page 11, some years ago, the state met me on behalf of the church and commanded me to pay a certain sum toward the support of a clergyman whose preaching my father attended, but I never myself. Pay it said, or be locked up in jail. I declined to pay, but unfortunately another man saw fit to pay it. I did not see why the schoolmaster should be taxed to support the priest and not the priest the schoolmaster.
Once we got to the checkpoint.
He wrote Civil Disobedience soon after he spent an evening in the unpleasant incarcerate of the Concord, Massachusetts jail after refusing to pay poll tax for 6 years. He retained the tax as a way to protest slavery and what he viewed as a militarism war with Mexico. Once he was released, after someone paid his tax for him, he went on to write Civil Disobedience,
I'm lagging.
The quote on page 9. Under
the Wi-Fi's been shit all day because it's been snowing.
A true place for a just man is also a prison. Thoreau portrays a new way of thinking, examining whether there should be a time when people should cordially resist their government and its justice system. He asserts that an individual ought not to permit the government to override their conscience, and that it is necessary upon all to avert consent when the government strives to perpetuate injustice. Thoreau says on page 8, if the injustice is part of the necessary friction of the machine of government, let it go, perchance it will wear smooth, certainly the machine will wear out. If the injustice has a spring, or a pulley, or a rope, or a crank, exclusively for itself, then perhaps you may consider whether this remedy will not be worse than the evil. But if it is such a nature that it requires you to be the agent of injustice to another, then I say, break the law. Thoreau's message motivates the reader to stay true to our conscience rather than being a slave to the government's motives. When we lose touch with our conscience, we lose what makes us human. Our resistance is much more profound than society's self-serving rules. We're not destined to always follow or accept what the government is doing. He argues that the individual should take immediate
30 kills. I got 20 assists, 12 kills.
Such as slavery. Thoreau's answer to this was protesting, which he believed was a moral
It's sad. It's sad when the support has more kills than the freaking attackers.
To pay their tax bills this year, that would not be a violent and bloody measure, as it would be to pay them and enable the state to commit violence and shed innocent blood. People should not serve the government if they fail to serve humanity's best interests, right? So, he goes on to say,
freaking Eric's, I think he switched it up, but he used to be an wrecking ball man.
Governments showed this how successful men can be opposed.
What is he now?
Men can be imposed on, even impose themselves for their own advantage.
I'm trying to think of what he is now.
The reader may ponder whether civil disobedience is warranted and whether violence is called upon. I don't believe that his writings support violent action, but rather sparks passion in people to oppose power and to come together to make a difference.
Eric plays Torbjorn, and he makes fun of me for being short.
Motivates our duty to come together in the name of equity and equality.
I don't know how to.
Throughout history,
I don't know how to say them. Baptiste, you probably don't say it like that.
Progress has been made regarding equity when people question authority.
Listen, I'm playing Overwatch, not Spanish class. I don't know how to play this.
change happens for the better.
What are we playing?
Thoreau conveys the message that in order for people to come together
Oh god, I was like taking this seriously.
With one individual. I know this, Thoreau says on page 9, I know this well, that of 1,100, if 10 men who I could name, if honest men only, if one honest man, in the state of Massachusetts,
that's probably why I'm lagging.
Slaves, were actually to withdraw from this co-partnership and be locked up
putting
in
a pumpkin
jail,
and ghosts.
Therefore, it would
T3D white tea.
For it matters not how small the beginning may seem, what may seem to be, what is once well done is done forever.
I feel like Abby would be named like Pumpkin or like some stupid shit like that.
Has influenced people to think with their conscience.
What the heck? Low gravity.
To oppose the government standards. We will now explore how Thoreau's ideas of civil disobedience have inspired some of the most influential people throughout history.
Oh, I bet Baptiste is good on this, because he can just like heal from above.
And how his writings continue to transform the world's discourse. So a quote in civil disobedience that
if you look on my who I've played as, it's just like 5 hours of Baptiste and then everyone else is like 3 minutes, and it's from Amelia playing. It's from Amelia playing.
This passage addresses Thoreau's concept of justice when stating his argument.
This map is gonna be ass on this game mode.
Consciousness can be a sovereign.
Oh my god, I just got sniped midair.
This very idea enlightened Martin Luther King Jr. and Gandhi. With that being said,
I get hit by the grenade guy.
Of South Africa's discrimination policies. After the Boer legislation was passed, the legislature was passed, which was a law that required all Indians to register with the police to be fingerprinted. Gandhi led a protest to not obey this law. He influenced many other Indians to disobey this discriminatory law, and as a result, Gandhi was arrested and put in jail. While Gandhi was incarcerated, he was heavily influenced by Thoreau's writing.
I'll get arrested next time.
And he took up the term civil disobedience to represent his approach to the peaceful and inequitable laws. The term civil disobedience inspired Gandhi's concept of Satyagraha, which translates to the insistence of truth. After Gandhi was released, he resumed his protest of refusing to comply with the Boer legislator. He organized and led labor strikes and monumental peaceful marches.
This is just ass, because once someone gets the thing...
The Boer government finally granted the end of the unjust sections of the legislation law. When Gandhi returned to India in 1914...
Amelia, just learn about Gandhi while we're losing at Overwatch.
Discrimination against India. He considered these injustices as something of 3 great evils inflicted in India, and the first being British rule. Gandhi believed that British rule impoverished
Well, I'm dead.
Indian people.
I don't know what you want me to do.
Gandhi expected Britain to grant India independence after World War I. When that did not happen, Gandhi called for strikes and other acts of peaceful civil disobedience.
I'm on my way.
Gandhi and others like Martin Luther King Jr. confronted injustice with nonviolent methods. Civil disobedience was an influential writing that inspired Gandhi's peaceful opposition to British-occupied India. Gandhi was inspired by Thoreau's guidance in resisting a mortal government authority. Thoreau
that's all this
that the
chick
people
we're talking
cannot combat unjust legislation by merely declining cooperation.
And I'm really doing really bad.
This was a significant driving force for Gandhi's notion, which was a symbol of non-cooperation. The ideas from civil disobedience that drove Gandhi's...
I didn't realize college was going to be this easy, like just literally sitting on my ass playing Overwatch while
Civil rights movement. Martin Luther King also adopted
Literature for Change,
which was a key origin in instilling
that's what it's called. I don't really know why. I don't know what the goal of the class is, but
one has a moral responsibility to disobey.
I'm doing so bad. I have 5 deaths, 0 kills.
A great deal of organizations utilize acts of civil disobedience to confront unalienable rights issues. This includes student loan forgiveness, the Black Lives Matter movement, and climate action. It has influenced people to protest against unneeded wars, such as the Vietnam War, And the idea of civil disobedience has inspired people like Greta Thunberg's role in environmental justice through protests and sit-ins. It has empowered individuals to challenge oppression.
No, he's gonna be an engineer.
When individuals are not submissive to immoral government policies,
I wish you could,
attention towards change. By
freaking.
practicing thorough civil disobedience, we've seen it lead to progressive changes throughout history, such as the civil rights movement of Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., as well as drawing attention to modern social issues and a driving factor for improvement.
In 2025.
Thank you for listening today, and I'll now leave you with a quote from Thoreau, Civil Disobedience, on page 2.
I'm gonna graduate
He says,
2025
I ask for not at
with a
once
master.
no government, but at once a better government. Let every man make known what kind of
be a
government
master
would
millionaire.
command his respect, and that will be one step toward
Well, then-
obtaining it.
Oh, a couple nights ago, my PlayStation said it got too hot.
Thanks, Julia. Thank you.
Yeah, it literally stopped, and I don't know where else to put it.
Voting yesterday, so it kind of actually fit in really well. Thank you. Thank you.
Damn
Questions,
it.
comments for Julia?
You know,
I just wanted to make a comment that thank you for
Julia's
sharing the
talking.
manuscript. That was really helpful to follow along with your script.
I'm not even gonna. I mean, I'm still gonna play, but like, let's just let him take it
Julia,
over.
You know, I gotta be Corey. And we did vote yesterday. So in terms of
I like the normal.
you made a mention of.
I don't know why
idea
this game
of
stresses me out
cordially,
so much.
Responding to the government when you felt like it was out of line. And so if we look at the George Floyd protest, specifically
Oh
in
my God,
Denver,
we're gonna talk about
there was
George
actually
Floyd.
no criminal content or complaint that occurred before they enacted.
I don't know what you're talking about George Floyd now.
3 counties of 7 p.m. Meaning they infringed upon
Well, I'm
the
just
rights
playing
of all
Overwatch
citizens and the fear
as
that
a
people
black person.
would protest the government legally because of the death of a black man. When cordial response
I just
to the
died
government is met with resistance of that
as a black
nature
man.
for something so simple. But then there is armed resistance and armed storming of the Capitol.
I guess you could
met with little to
you
no
could say
resistance.
Reinhardt and
How
killing
do you
me would be
feel
kind of
like
the same
the
thing.
message of this has been shifted by current American politics?
You know, if Reinhardt killed me, it'd be the same thing. Or you use your like diva skin to kill me as a police officer.
I think people
Sorry.
we're getting to
Sorry.
a point where people are just exhausted of things not getting done, and they're just angry. And I think that maybe just the amount of time that has passed and the amount of time people
I can literally feel
have been
my
discriminated
PlayStation is
against,
basically a
because,
space heater
sure,
at this
like, it
point.
inspires, his writing has inspired people
Like
in the past
the heat that's
to make
coming out of my
steps towards improvement,
like
but
TV stand,
there's still
it's insane.
a lot that needs to be done. So maybe people are just tired of being peaceful, and they're tired because they're just tired of that not working, and maybe they're feel like they're angry and they just have to
Oh,
riot. I don't know. That's a really interesting question. I think I'm following along with
lovely.
what you asked. Let me know.
Let's not play that again.
Yeah, no, I think your answer. I just think again, when you were saying that cordial response, when we were trying to protest peacefully, and we're met with armed resistance, pepper gas, and curfews enacted for the entire public, but then when people react violently over not infringement of their rights, but through the opening of rights to other people, and then that violent reaction.
This guy talks way too much. This guy talks way too much.
How would you inspire? How would you say that a message like Thoreau's could be
We're talking about
utilized in today's society? Would it be more
There's my
utilized by
phone.
the right, by the people who
It feels
are
like Christmas
causing that
somehow already.
resistance by saying that we're standing up to the government, we're doing what Thoreau said, we're thinking like individuals, and we're speaking what we want? Or is it more on the side of progressives where they're saying, we
Except
don't
I
believe
gotta
that these
find,
laws are just, and so we're going to cordially speak out? And how do you feel like that message is being used today? I guess kind of like
Sigma.
Do you think it's being sold better by the hard right?
Sigma
Or
Nu.
being sold better by the far left?
Well, okay, so the first person I thought of was, what was that heinous woman that
Sigma Nu and like the incident.
Yesterday, the woman is
she's gonna lose.
The first time I came there.
I think about her,
Or
right?
was that the first?
Being like, I could
Sigma
walk
Nu?
to the Capitol with the gun strapped to me, and I don't have to
So
listen
Alex
to
dropped his whole meal in the parking lot of Fraternity Row.
Right? So I could walk into the state capitol strapped.
It was sad.
Like, no, you absolutely can't.
There's like a couple pictures of it. It was
like, you know,
it's
so
quite
yeah,
the
no, that's an interesting
tragedy.
point. I don't know. I feel like it can
Okay,
be
but honestly, how do you
distributed
drop
both
that?
sides, like really,
Like what?
just really, really different ways. Cause yeah, that's
Wait, what are
so,
we playing?
that's
Oh,
so tricky.
oh, who
Like,
am I?
Literally, like
Mystery?
I wasn't trying to get an exact response, but I was just kind
I
of.
don't know how to do this guy. I don't even know what he does.
When you look at the election, like Bober wasn't even a.
I have no clue. He looks like a clown.
Possibly a toss-up, and now she's gonna get a shock loss. But I mean, Democrats completely have.
Does he have a grenade stuff?
The South, specifically Florida. There's no chance that Florida or Texas will elect a Democrat at the state level ever again. So to me, it's like crazy kind of how that ideology, if you look at how we talk in our state, Jared Bullis talks about our independence and our like kind of unique way of approaching it, but then DeSantis kind of almost sounds identical. So it was just
I'm doing really bad because I don't know how to play this game.
Back and forth, like it was a really cool weave through that.
Julia, do you mind if I jump in?
Who am I now?
I was just gonna say
Echo?
I kind of agree with her that
Good lord, I don't even know what I'm doing.
taken from Thoreau, but I think like
if I suck this round,
left is more
because
like
I've never played any other person in this game except Baptiste.
Kind of ideas, you should retreat and make your own way in life, versus the right is more that
I know who I am.
Side. I think the left still is civil disobedience,
I'm dead.
But they're more
good.
Just tired of it. They realize the system doesn't work, so maybe a good option is to, rather than try to.
Who am I now? Oh my god! I know how to play this.
System, trying to break the system, go and create your own system.
I'm Diva now.
Yeah, I mean, this is another question that I think we wrestle with all semester, right? And we've seen this come up in some of the work.
Okay, but playing Diva on this kind of sucks because I'll probably not get to use her, like, ability.
The house, do you use the master's house, quote unquote, to dismantle that house, that structure, or do you try to build an entirely different house, right? I think, you know, one of the things that
I'm on 10 health, and there's no healers in sight.
I think it's a really fair comparison, and in terms of comparing the ways in which the Black Lives Matter protests played out, and you make a good point specifically in Denver, and how that was met with physical resistance and violence, right, by police, as opposed to the storming of the Capitol, which was named many different things. In fact, in Comp 2, I use that example when we're talking about euphemism, right?
Yeah, because I was on 36 and now I'm on 32.
Of not telling the whole truth. You don't want to ruffle any feathers, right? So you might say someone passed away instead of, oh, he died yesterday, right? So when we're looking at euphemism in terms of the storming of the Capitol, you know, people were calling it a peaceful protest. The people who participated, many of them were, which is just completely...
Oh, damn.
Incorrect, right? I mean, we actually saw it play out. It was not peaceful. Others were calling it an insurrection. Others were calling it...
now I'm playing Zenyatta.
The Capitol or taking back the Capitol, right? So it was like even the language that surrounded it.
You guys are doing really well without me doing shit.
Different depending on the political party that's describing it, right? So I guess what I'm getting at is, I mean, my response, and I know my response to Corey's question would be, number one, I think we just have to acknowledge, because this is a question I was going to have for Julie, sorry. You've already answered it. When we talk about this idea of questioning authority, who is actually granting those rights, right? Without retribution. And typically people of different races, ethnicities, sex, sexuality, gender identification, etc. Typically, right,
I'm
at
playing
least what we've seen historically is when people from these groups try to actually have this cordial disobedience. It ends just as Corey was describing.
I've never used it. I've never really used
retaliation. So to me, it comes back to that idea of institutional racism. It is within that system, right? Not justifying, obviously, at all sin, but I think that is, that's at the root of why you can have people of different colors, shades, etc., for example, protesting, and you'll see very widely different reactions. And in terms of Thoreau, that's an interesting question as far as, and I mean, none of us really knows the answer, right?
This is what I get for never playing like these characters before.
The idea of authorial intent. What did the author really intend? How did he really intend his message to be taken? I'm going to finish, sorry, just a minute. So, another example that I thought about too was Cornell West and Charlottesville. If you recall back right at the beginning of the Black Lives Matter movement, this was another thing.
Shit, I'm dead.
I think this actually preceded George Floyd's death.
Why are we talking?
This was when you had a group of people who were African American who were seeking kind of refuge.
Who am I?
Roadhog? To service, right? And reverence for the people that had lost their lives in terms of racist violence that had occurred. And then, sure enough, a group of white males comes up and storms the church, and they're carrying torches, and some of them have on KKK insignia, right? So you have someone who's peacefully, not even really protesting in the sense of being out in another space, right? And yet they're being attacked. So even within that insider group, there's still that, again, that institutional racism that gets these people to think, okay, we can go in here, this can become our space, we can take it back.
I kind of don't mind Roadhog.
The thing about Thoreau, my comment to Corey, I think, and it's something I have to think more about because it's a really good question. It's a deep question.
What does Huck do? Pull him in?
People that are storming the Capitol are actually jingoists. I don't know if they're necessarily reading Thoreau. I mean, that was kind of my first reaction to your question.
I don't know. No one's over here on the robot. They're all like fighting.
Right? That you've got people who identify with maybe more of the left side reading it, and actually this kind of ties into what Savannah said. Trying to
I kind of like this.
That they view as unjust when you're standing on the shoulders of someone else to get what you want, that type of thing. But with that said, as soon as I kind of come upon that self-response, I started thinking about the idea of self-sufficiency.
Now I'm back in Zenyatta.
And then it does make you wonder when you look at people who, I'm not saying prepping is bad. I'm just saying when you look at people who are kind of excessive preppers, right, and who do it to the point to where it becomes almost paranoia that someone's going to come in and take their guns or take this or that. That self-sufficiency to a certain extent.
They're gonna start pushing the wall.
Homestead, you can grow your own food. You want to defend your territory from all of these people who don't look like you. So I mean, it's hard. I would probably doubt to say that most of those folks have actually read Thoreau, but it's an interesting question, and I'll stop. I know I went on, but I really appreciated
we're gonna lose.
The ideas that came out of that. Savannah, were you going to say something? We can see someone else, or who was going to speak?
Oh, we're tied. We're freaking down. Who's that? Damn, we're not tied anymore.
Someone tried to speak, and I just wanted to make sure you got a chance. Anybody? Any thoughts? Agreements? Disagreements? Any reactions to what I said?
Not so like the other way. The only thing I would say is I kind of connect what you just said to the idea of it doesn't take everyone in the movement.
Oh, we probably lost.
Or to derive these narratives from it. It only takes the leader. And Gandhi obviously did not have a nation of Indian people reading Thoreau and then using that as the facilitator to get them to do that. So I think again too, the reason I'm using that as engagement is because a lot of the argument here is on the academic side of conservative or progressive thought. And so I guess it's more
I think
it's becoming more of a narrative on the right, specifically for males, white males, of educated notion, to be attaching to Thoreau to
Amelia, this is a this is a family-friendly stream, Amelia.
that were borderline bigoted, but that could be kind of cloaked in this identity of intelligence or like philosophical thought.
So I
Cursing?
movement would go with that. I don't know if anyone knows much about QAnon, but originally it was some guy basically.
I don't know who's playing Stan Luna, but he really sucks at this game.
Under an anonymous name, and the creator.
That was a great game.
Owner
Why do we have 4
the
hackers?
website that this was being posted on 8chan took over the account and used it as an experiment to see how people responded to what he was saying. And I think kind of, rather than it being a movement on the right, I think it's a manipulation. Kind of using these, they're not using Thoreau himself, they're using out of context Thoreau in a way to support their own beliefs, basically. At least that's my opinion of it, is they,
What the hell?
they're not really taking Thoreau in its full essence. Not that anyone really is. They're saying, Thoreau said this is how it applies to what we're fighting for, and this is why you should believe what we're telling you to believe.
Yeah, and Savannah, I'll piggyback on that, because part of my response when Tori was asking that was just going to be, it depends on how you use it. And that comes back also to rhetoric, right? As far as, remember that rhetoric, and I'm just speaking to all of us, is the art of persuasion. And throughout history, right, rhetoric has been used for good and for evil. I mean, we could look at, how someone has taken, someone like Hitler, who comes up with these, horrific, genocidal, right, ideas, and is able to spin and sell them, right, through his use of rhetoric. And then we can look at someone like Martin Luther King Jr., who can take ideas.
No, not to
not only sell them, but sell them to get
not to Border Wars, because I was Amelia, how many?
So
I cannot miss Monday's class, but how many? I know.
I think that does tie in, and I do make that concession. I do believe that
The amount of times that I've been to Laramie in the past couple weeks is insane.
This is America, this is my
The same difference.
I'm a man, and I'm sorry, this is, using what kind of toxic.
Oh my god.
But,
Actually,
to me, it would be a
wait,
use.
I thought they were about 3 hours, both
The
of
use
them.
of rhetoric, that's kind of my thought. The only reason I piggybacked is because that's, I think, kind
Oh
of
my god, I hate.
I was just going to add to that. That brings up an interesting question that maybe too long.
I really kind of hate having a random person to play as.
Sophists recently, and how their idea of democratic government was basically finding the most charismatic person so everyone would follow them. And that brings it into question, is our democracy really pure, or are we just following the rhetoric of these people? Should the rest of the federal government be following Colorado's measure and allowing people to vote directly on their policies, so we're not voting on whoever the most charismatic person is? Because
I hope Frisch wins. I freaking hate Bober. I think so. I think Bober's gonna win. I think she's gonna come back from mine because unfortunately,
we might be having a different story.
I like Frisch, but he's not gonna win. Like, I'm not even against Republicans either. I just hate her.
It does tie in, as always, to audience, right? That whole idea of purpose, audience, and then, of course, rhetorical appeals.
Let's see if
right?
it's been updated.
And even fallacies, not just rhetorical appeals, but logical fallacies and emotional fallacies that are being used intentionally to manipulate and try to get what you want.
He's leading
She's
by
a really good example, I think.
By
brought her up. She was a great example, I think, of someone
about 60 votes.
doing that present day.
He has 154,
Because I know
122. She has
probably
154,
need to
06,
forward.
0.
But this was good. This is a good conversation. Sorry. I have the phone on because of the kids. So.
Yeah, because they're literally 60 votes apart.
And next week, too, we'll talk more about this, actually. We'll look at it from a much more contemporary perspective and kind of talk a little bit more about what does it look like in terms of a protest and where do these different
It literally
strands
couldn't be
of thought
closer.
I
know who Eric voted for.
protests come from. Bullard talks a lot about that. So we'll look at that next week. All right,
I mean, he didn't say that, but I know he did.
Thank you, Corey and Savannah, for a good conversation. Everybody else, too, I want you to jump in. All right. Let's go ahead and kind of switch gears if we're ready. So, we're kind of, and we always run down the clock in here. I'm sorry about that.
I really hope.
This was a good presentation and good conversation. All right. So, for today's reading, as far as the pieces that you had, again, by now, I think all of you know this, right? It should be made evident that these works are laid out chronologically in the textbook. And so, excuse me, we may have some moments where we've got people that are writing about the exact same topic and others that are writing about different things, but the historical, cultural, social context, especially the historical context.
I mean, I think that Boba's going to win just because she's been catching up a lot.
All of them.
But, like, you never know.
Are relevant for those works during the period that we're reading. So, I wanted to ask you before we dive in, was there one that stood out? We read Silco Lullaby for today. We also read Love Canal, right? Excerpt from it, her book, Lois Gibbs.
That was me.
And then,
that was the Reinhardt Lucy.
The excerpt from Fate of the Earth by Jonathan Shell. Any reactions, general reactions? Loved anything, hated anything? Confused by anything? Or
it's the first time I've ever used Reinhardt.
I really liked.
Did you get a chance?
You lived in a different district in here, though. They used to not be.
CMC several years ago.
They're in District 2.
She's phenomenal. And talk about someone who, has all of those rhetorical appeals and also has charisma. That's her for sure. Thanks, Margo.
That's lovely. I love that.
What were you going to say?
Oh, sorry, that was Laurel. Go ahead, Margo.
I'm sorry. It's the boxes. I got with the cameras off. I'm like, who's speaking? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Thanks, Laurel. Thank you.
Laurel. Ian.
What Michael said was kind of what I was going to say too.
I've never played as Winston.
We just started discussing the Superfund site, so kind of tying that all in together was interesting, and also, the story was reminiscent of the Nora story that we read.
Damn, okay. I really don't like this game mode.
Yeah, it's a good connection.
I'm gonna add an interesting.
No, it doesn't, because I can't even use one of them. Because
it's very interesting. Leadville as a super.
No, it doesn't, because I don't know how to use them. So.
It is not cleaned up at all. The school building is still knocked down. They just have a fence up around the contaminated area. Versus, I walk around, I've driven through Leadville.
Okay, there's a diva after me right now.
They are, taking stuff down, putting new stuff there.
I have the little Christmas skin for
just material.
Whatever his little face is. Torbjorn.
Look
at my Bastion skin.
Actually, the whole
oh shit.
Niagara Falls, Love Canal is in Niagara Falls, is very low income, and it's very similar to Leadville, which is generally rich. It's interesting how they care for the different Superfund sites.
And that is what we'll read about next week, even more extensively with Lord Duncan and Dixon, sure, right? Environmental racism.
We don't have any. I would say like, where's the healers? But we literally don't have any.
The personal experience, and then also bringing up those differences in the way that those sites are treated, for sure. Well, then let's go ahead and start with Love Canal, okay? I think what we'll do is we'll just talk about it as a big group. I do actually have some supplemental information in our module that I want to share with you.
I should probably actually listen to what this.
One of them is an article which I encourage you to read. It's been published. It's actually
I'll be back on later.
The other is a really short video clip that we can see if we can squeeze it in.